So there's this generation that everyone kind of forgets about, stuck between the boomers and the millennials. And honestly, they might be the most psychologically interesting generation alive right now. Gen X, the forgotten middle child of generations. And there's a reason they're so different from everyone else. They were raised by wolves. Well, not literally, but kind of. See, Gen X came of age in this weird window of time. Late 60s through early 80s, their parents, boomers mostly. And those parents were busy, both working, pursuing careers, divorcing at record rates, doing their own thing. So Gen X kids, they were on their own, a lot. And something happened to them because of that. Something that shaped their entire psychology, their entire approach to life. They became what researchers sometimes call the feral generation. Now, before you think that sounds negative, hear me out. Because what actually happened is kind of remarkable. When you give kids independence, real independence, not fake supervised independence, they develop differently. And I mean that in a good way. Let me give you an example. A small one that actually reveals something big. Making mixtapes. Recording songs off the radio onto cassette tapes. You'd have to sit there, radio on, waiting. Just waiting. For that one song you loved to play. Could be 20 minutes. Could be 2 hours. You never knew. And you had to be ready. Finger hovering over that record button. Because if you missed it, you'd have to wait all over again. Maybe days before it played again. So you'd sit there, doing other stuff, sure, homework, drawing, whatever, but always half listening, always ready. And when it finally came on, that rush, hit record, and then pray the DJ doesn't talk over the intro. Pray your little brother doesn't run in screaming. Pray the phone doesn't ring and cause static. Sometimes you'd get it perfect. Sometimes you wouldn't. So you'd try again. Now think about what that experience teaches a developing brain. Patience. The ability to wait for something you want, to work for it, to focus, to plan ahead. It teaches you that good things require effort and time. That instant gratification isn't the default. That the waiting, the effort, that makes it more valuable. Every song on that mixtape represented investment. Time, attention, care. And when you made a mixtape for someone else, for a crush, for a friend, that was serious. Those songs were chosen carefully. The order mattered. You were putting yourself into that tape. Compare that to sending someone a Spotify playlist you made in 3 minutes. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but the relationship to it is different. The meaning is different. Gen X learned that value comes from effort, from investment, from caring enough to try. And that lesson shaped everything else. Let's talk about the Latchkey kid thing, because this is huge. So many Gen X kids came home to empty houses. Every single day. Key around their neck or hidden under a rock. Let yourself in. You're alone until mom or dad gets home from work. For hours. What do? Well, you figure it out. Make a snack. Do your homework. Or don't. Watch TV. Go outside. Ride your bike. Walk to a friend's house, build something, break something, whatever. You're autonomous, self-directed, unsupervised. And yeah, sometimes things went wrong. Fights with siblings with no referee. Minor injuries with no immediate adult help. Boredom with no one to entertain you. But here's the thing. They figured it out. They learned to solve their own problems. Manage their own time. Cope with their own emotions. Be comfortable in their own company. Being alone didn't mean being lonely. It just meant being with yourself, with your thoughts. That's increasingly rare now. Most people can't sit alone for 5 minutes without reaching for their phone. But Gen X, they can sit in silence, be in their own head. They don't need constant external stimulation. And that created something psychologists call an internal locus of control. It means you believe you're in control of your life. Your outcomes. Not fate, not other people, you. If something goes wrong, you figure out how to fix it. You don't wait for rescue. You don't blame circumstances, you handle it. That's Gen X energy right there. Now let's talk about something that might sound crazy to younger people. Pain tolerance. Gen X has a crazy high pain tolerance, physical and emotional. Why? Because they got hurt. A lot. And it was just normal. Playgrounds back then were straight up dangerous. Like genuinely unsafe by today's standards. Metal slides in the summer sun that would literally burn you. Merry-go-round spinning fast enough to create actual G-force. Monkey bars over concrete or gravel. Tall, no safety measures. Kids fell off stuff constantly. Scraped knees, twisted ankles, bumped heads, splinters, cuts, bruises. And what happened? You got up. Maybe cried a bit. Maybe your friend helped you to the nurse. Or you just went home, washed it off, put on a band-aid. No emergency room. No X-rays for every bump. No panic. Parents weren't helicoptering. They weren't even there most of the time. So kids learned to assess their own injuries. Serious or not serious? Do I need help or can I handle this? They learned that pain is information, a signal. Not automatically an emergency. Broke your arm? Okay, yeah, that needs a doctor. Scraped your knee, walk it off. This created mental resilience. The ability to experience discomfort without panicking, without catastrophizing, and it carried over into emotional pain too. Disappointment, rejection, failure. Yeah, it hurts, but you survive it, you move on. No ruminating. No trauma, speak for every difficult experience. Just, okay, that sucked. What's next? I'm not saying they're emotionless. They're not. But they're steady, unshakable. Crisis hits. Gen X doesn't fall apart. They assess, they act, they handle it. Let's shift gears. Socialization. The way Gen X kids socialized is completely different from how people connect now. If you wanted to talk to your friend, you called their house phone, their landline, and whoever answered. Could be their mom, their dad, their grandma, their annoying little brother who'd tease you. You had to be polite. Hi, may I please speak to Jessica? No texting, no DMs, no avoiding human interaction. And if your friend wasn't home, you didn't know where they were, you couldn't track them. You just called back later, or showed up at their house. Want to hang out? You made plans. Concrete plans. Meet at the mall at 3. Be there. Because if you weren't, there was no way to contact you. Your friend would just be waiting. You'd be the jerk who flaked. So you showed up. You committed. Plans meant something. And conversations happened in public, or semi-public. Someone's kitchen while their parents were around. On the phone with the cord stretched into the hallway for minimal privacy. You learn to navigate social situations in real time. Face to face. Reading body language. Tone of voice. Facial expressions. You couldn't hide behind a screen. Couldn't edit your words. Couldn't ghost someone without social consequences. If you had a fight with someone, you had to face them. Apologize in person. Work through it. Or accept that the friendship might be over. No sending a text apology. No explaining yourself in a carefully crafted message, just you. Them. Awkward conversation. Resolution or not. This built real emotional intelligence. The ability to read people. To navigate conflict. To be present in uncomfortable moments. It built social resilience. And then there's the background hum of their entire childhood. The thing that colored everything. The Cold War. Gen X grew up genuinely believing the world could end. Nuclear war was a real possibility. They did drills in school. Duck and cover under your desk. As if that would help in a nuclear blast, they watched the news, saw the tension between superpowers, understood that adults were scared too. They watched the Challenger space shuttle explode on Lev TV. In their classrooms, teachers crying. The illusion of safety shattered. They lived through economic recessions, watched their parents struggle, saw that financial security wasn't guaranteed. The message was clear. Life is uncertain. The future isn't promised. Bad things can happen. You're not necessarily safe. So what do you do with that? As a kid, you adapt. You don't take things for granted. You don't assume everything will be okay just because. You learn to handle uncertainty, to live with the knowledge that things can go wrong. And instead of making them anxious, it made them tough. Not in a hard, cruel way, but in a steady, unflappable way. Things go wrong. Yeah, they do. That's life. Let's deal with it. No meltdowns. No spiraling. Just, okay, this is the situation. What do we do about it? That's the Gen X mindset. Forged in uncertainty. Strengthened by independence. And here's what makes them really unique. They're a bridge. They remember the before times. Before the internet. Before cell phones. Before social media. They remember having to actually remember phone numbers. Having to look things up in encyclopedias. Having to wait for photos to be developed to see if they turned out okay. They remember true privacy, true boredom, true disconnection. But they also adapted. They learned technology. They're on Facebook. They use smartphones. They text. They email. They're not technologically illiterate, far from it. But they have perspective. They know what they've gained and what's been lost. They can use technology without being owned by it. They can log off, disconnect, be unreachable. They don't need constant connectivity to feel okay. They have what you might call old school resilience in a new school world. And maybe that's exactly what we need right now. People who can handle modern complexity without falling apart. Who can be independent without being isolated. Who can be tough without being cruel. Gen X isn't perfect. No generation is. But they've got something that's increasingly rare. True resilience. Earned through experience. Through being trusted to figure things out on their own. And maybe there's a lesson there. Maybe we've overcorrected. Too much supervision. Too much protection. Too much shielding from discomfort and failure. Maybe kids need some of that feral energy. That independence. That space to become themselves. Because resilience isn't given, it's built. And Gen X, they built it themselves.